2 months ago from the recording of this video, when gold was trading at $2,700 an ounce and Bitcoin was very close to $100,000, I recommended on this channel that viewers take a look at a possible rotation out of Bitcoin and into gold. We're going to revisit that today and see where I stand on Bitcoin today, because as you guys know, I was right. Bitcoin, as it stands today, at the end of February 2025, is trading around $84,000 to $85,000, down from nearly 100. And gold, which was trading when I suggested moving into that out of Bitcoin, has moved from 2,700 to darn near 3,000. So I want to revisit the whole picture and see where we stand today. Let's get started. Now, I'm going to revisit a chart that I posted on that video, and again, a link is below, and I really encourage you to watch that just so you know that I was suggesting to do this well ahead of time, and that's one of the main reasons why I always recommend you subscribe to this channel, because I'm trying to provide you with ideas every single week on this channel. Whatever the case, one of the things I find with Bitcoin, and boy, I'm going to raise a few hackles here, but Bitcoin reminds me of almost like a religion. People are fanatic. They're deep believers in it. Now, I want to point out that I have nothing against Bitcoin. I have nothing against gold. I have nothing against oil. In fact, I am agnostic about everything on the market. If we want to be successful investors, we cannot marry a trade. We cannot become thematic about anything. And by the way, I've talked about this on videos in the past. We have to act like professional traders. I've been doing this for 35 years professionally, and my results are proof in themselves. You can go to the Value Trend website. You can look at our performance. We've outperformed the market with a lot less risk. But let's take a look at where we stand today with that Bitcoin to gold ratio, and maybe it will give us some hints as to whether now that Bitcoin's down to 85,000 from 100, if it's a good time to buy. This is the Bitcoin to gold ratio, and I want you to take a look at this area right here, which is when I recorded that video back in January on Bitcoin. And I was noting that at the time, the Bitcoin to gold ratio was around 37 to 38 times. Now, what that means is, with a price of $2,700 in gold and a price very close to 100,000 on Bitcoin, divide gold into Bitcoin and you got around 37 times, okay? 37 to 38, it was fluctuating around, the two of them were moving around. But anywhere generally above 35, so I'll just back that up and zoom in a bit, anywhere above 35 tends to be an area where you will see them reverse. Well, as you saw, Bitcoin got way up into the 38 level. So what we're seeing now is a retreat, as you know, on the price of Bitcoin. It's moved down to 85,000, and it's kind of getting closer to that neutral zone. So the neutral zone is somewhere between 30 or so times to 20 times on the low end. So in other words, Bitcoin would trade 20 to 30 times the price of gold. Well, we're just entering into that. In fact, if I erase a few lines here, you can see we're just right there right now. And my thoughts are that just because it's a neutral environment for the ratio between Bitcoin and gold, which has been a very successful trade, it tends to move in a fairly rhythmic fashion. And this was due, as I noted on that last video. Well, just because it's just entering into the neutral zone right now, when Star Trek nerd in me is saying neutral zone, we don't necessarily have a buy signal. So we're going to look at the charts in a minute, but you know, Bitcoin could get anywhere into the lower end of the 20 times the price of gold before it becomes more attractive, at least from this ratio's perspective. So the next thing we're going to talk about is, okay, well, why is Bitcoin falling? Well, this is a chart provided to us by CoinShares, And they're looking at the flow into crypto assets. Now, this includes Bitcoin, and this includes Dogecoin, and all those wonderful uh, crypto type currencies. But you can see the general trend over 2024 and 2025 had been fairly positive, but it's been reversing lately. And in fact, it's gone negative lately. So in other words, net money's flowing out of crypto. Well, where is it going? You take a guess. You already know. It's flowing into gold. Okay. So this is a chart right here. And this is courtesy, I believe, of Bloomberg. And what they've shown you here is a chart of the US buying by institutions and individuals of gold. So a lot of money is in the United States of America, and the institutions, the government, and individual investors have been buying it, and it's spiked up like crazy, as you can see here. But at the same time, a lot of gold is actually bought on futures contracts. It's effectively borrowed, and nobody wants to lend their gold. So the price has been going up simply because a lot of investors are convinced, and a lot of institutions are convinced, that gold's a good place to be. And it's obviously way off the Richter chart, because you can see on this bottom line that even going far as back as 2019, we haven't seen such a hesitation to lend gold between countries. So this is big news for gold, actually. The answer to the question of, where is the money coming out of crypto going? Obviously, gold is at least one of those areas. And obviously, it's a very significant area, especially when we looked at that ratio chart that we looked at a minute ago. So now I want to quickly look at the charts of Bitcoin to start with. And we will look at the US dollar to Bitcoin, which is probably the best way of looking at it. And you can see that, surprise, surprise, Bitcoin is very, very volatile. Anybody shocked at that statement? Here we are in the 1600 level, and there it fell to around 70. It's just insane. It rose from around 70 to 500, and then went flat for a while, and then rose again to around the 1600 point, as you can see, and then fell from 1640 to a low of 92. I mean, this is not a security for the timid. And for those of you who believe in buy and hold, I would suggest that maybe, just maybe, this is not one of those securities that you buy and hold just yet. So here's what's happened recently. It rose off of that 92, and then it's based. So this is really important, because old resistance becomes new support, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, look at how precise this pattern has been. It literally has been landing. Now, this is Bitcoin to US dollars, by the way, so it's not the net price of Bitcoin. But what you're looking at is it's literally landed right at support. And if I erase some of these lines here, you will see that at that support line, it's just on the verge of breaking down. Now, if we see Bitcoin break down much further, and again, remember that chart I showed you with the ratio of Bitcoin to gold, that was breaking down into the neutral zone. So if Bitcoin continues to break down, then you could see technically pretty strong moves. I mean, from around 300 down to 200 in this relationship with the US dollar, and then even lower. So I am suggesting that I know with my money, I am not going to be buying Bitcoin anytime soon. I like to see a base breakout. So this would have been a base breakout. After it fell, this was a base breakout, it went up. This was a base, and it broke out, went up. So you want to see this particular point in time hold, because that's support. If it does hold, sure, it may bounce off, might be a good trade. But you don't predict, you do prepare. You never predict something, you let the chart tell you what it's going to do. If it breaks down, though, we've got a lot of pain ahead of us, so keep that in mind. Now, final chart is, and I'll hopefully be saying this right, Ethereum. I'm not a regular follower of Ethereum, but nevertheless, I'm sure some of the viewers are. So I thought I'd look at it technically. But this really is exercising a typical pattern where old support became resistance and then is a support again. So again, it's the same sort of story with Ethereum as it is with Bitcoin. It has to find support. This is Ethereum to the US dollar. If it finds support here, that's great. It'll bounce up and look good. But if it breaks down, then watch out below. I hope this video helps you get an understanding that Bitcoin may not be ripe for buying just yet. Now, if it finds support and it bounces in the next number of weeks or so, it very well could be a good trade. But at this point, I can tell you with my money, I'm not buying Bitcoin or crypto. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you got value out of this episode. Please like and subscribe below. We're trying to grow the channel and it would really be doing us a big favor. I'm presenting ideas every week on trades that we're actually looking at Value Trend. And by the way, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I have been a portfolio manager for 35 years. And in fact, I was one of the very early pioneers in technical analysis here in Canada. On my website, valuetrend.ca, you will see a link for our online trading course. And this course is a complete money management system. I do encourage you to take a good look at that and consider taking it. I priced it extremely low because I want retail investors, that's you, to take the course and get value out of it. It's literally my 30 plus years of experience put into one complete step-by-step course. And honestly, I wish that I had had something like this when I was an early investor. It really will stop you from making so many mistakes. I also suggest you subscribe to our Never Miss an Opportunity program, which is our blog and our newsletter. There, you're going to get ongoing ideas, tons of charts, lots of trading ideas. And by the way, we never, ever solicit. We don't send you junk, spam, and stuff like that to try to get your business. It's for information, because part of my passion is to teach retail investors how to invest properly. I've been doing this, as I said, for 35 years, and I hope that I'm able to pass on some of the things that I've learned through this career as both a pioneer in technical analysis in Canada and a longtime portfolio manager. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, push like, push subscribe. See you next time.